Last time on Shadow Peace, a new battle started as two pirates encountered each other at the edge of Hachinosu Island. Kuzan, now a member of the Blackbeard Pirates, and Katakuri, the stand-in captain of the Big Mom Pirates. After having fought just a few weeks prior on Totoland, Katakuri had the burning desire to get his revenge, both because he lost hard against the once Marine Admiral and because they kidnapped one of his younger sisters, Charlotte Pudding. It was a back and forth of attacks from both sides, changing the landscape around them. The battlefield was a wasteland of shattered mochi and fractured ice. The sea around Hachinosu, once vibrant and colorful under the bright sky, had become an alien landscape, half glacier, half sweets, a graveyard of frozen waves and hardened syrup. Katakuri stood with Mogura planted in the ice, his chest rising and falling with steady rhythm. Steam curled off his body where frost still clung to his skin, and his single visible eye burned with an intensity that had not dimmed once since the battle began. Kuzan, by contrast, still stood with his hands in his pockets, though the tatters in his jacket and the streaks of hardened mochi along his shoulders betrayed that even he could not weather the storm without consequences. His breath fogged in the air, the calm in his gaze unshaken. For a moment silence lingered, the world itself seemed to hold its breath. Then Katakuri shifted. The mochi of his body rippled, bubbling, not with weakness but with pressure. Each movement now gave off faint wisps of steam, as if the sheer friction of his haki against his pliable form was heating him from within. His fists clenched, coated in deeper black than before, the armament haki so dense it seemed to drink in the light around it. "You thought last time was the end," Katakuri growled, his voice rougher, heavier. "But I've been waiting for this moment. Every second I was frozen, I thought of nothing else." Kuzan tilted his head, regarding him like one might a particular stubborn wave. "You've got fire in you now. But fire burns itself out faster when it rages, and even faster when it's attacked by ice." He exhaled, another plume of icy mist, but for the first time, his voice lacked its usual drawl. Katakuri vanished. In a blink of an eye, his massive frame blurred into a streak of steam and hardened mochi, reappearing directly before Kuzan with Mogura descending in a thunderous arc. The trident struck, shattering the frozen floor into a crater of jagged shards. Kuzan had narrowly slipped aside, reforming from ice particles at Katakuri's flank, but the Yonko's air was already there, a hardened fist smashing towards his face. The blow connected. For the first time, Kuzan staggered. Frost sprayed from his cheek as he reformed, but the impact left a mark, his head jerking sideways with the force. His expression hardened. Katakuri didn't let up. He was faster now, more relentless. Every attack was chained into the next, every strike predicted by his own foresight before Kuzan could even move. Donuts of mochi spun into being in the air, launching fists like artillery shells, each one laced with scorching hot haki. His body twisted and warped, filling the air with a storm of heated attacks. Kuzan could no longer simply drift away. His hands emerged from his pockets, at last. With a flick, he raised a wall of ice that met the barrage head-on. The fist struck, exploding against it, steam and frost colliding in a hiss that echoed like boiling water poured on snow. The wall shattered. Katakuri's fists pushed through, forcing Kuzan to leap back, ice forming beneath his boots to skate across the battlefield. The calm mask cracked. "So be it." Kuzan's tone was cold in the frost. He commanded, "If you want me to take this seriously, fine." He raised his arms, but he got interrupted when another pirate crashed into the ground close to him and Katakuri. Just from looking at him, both immediately noticed who it was. Vasco Shot, another of the Titanic captains. Katakuri, though, had a smile under his scar for another reason, as he saw an individual that had grown a lot on Totoland and seemed to have changed even more in this war already. Koribu, better known as the Bloody Ocean nowadays, arrived shortly after, showing that he was the one to send Vasco Shot flying. The usually fat man had gotten a drastic makeover as Smoothie had used her powers on him, and that had squeezed all the fat and exhaustion out of his body. The two family members only had a short conversation, and when Vasco Shot got up from the ground, planning to turn this into a 2 versus 2, Koribu analyzed the situation quickly and came up with a plan. His speed was incredible, as in one instant he had rushed to Vasco Shot, grabbed his face and was about to dash back to where they came from with him. But before leaving, he left Katakuri with a reassuring statement. "Don't worry, big bro. Once I am done with this guy, I will come back and help you out. Together, we can't lose." Smashing Vasco Shot into the ground and grinding his face through the street, Koribu sprinted back like lightning. Not missing a chance after the two other pirates vanished from sight, Kuzan raised his arms again. The temperature plummeted instantly. Air crystallized into snowflakes mid-breath, the sea groaning as fresh layers of ice spread outwards in jagged veins. Clouds rolled overhead, dark and heavy, and from the heavens descended a storm of frozen spears. Ice storm! The sky itself became a weapon, thousands of shards plunging downward like the rain of a frozen apocalypse. Katakuri's future sight screamed with possibilities of skewering, piercing, and defeat. He clenched his fists, mochi surging to envelop his body. Mochi armor! He spun, fists exploding outwards in a whirling cyclone of hardened mochi that smashed the frozen spears mid-descent. Shards rained around him, glancing off the black steel sheen of his haki, bouncing harmlessly off his heated, rippling form. But the storm was relentless. More spears fell, faster, heavier, growing bigger by the second. Katakuri roared, his fists doubling, tripling, each strike meeting a shard before it could impale him. The battlefield became a blur of black fists and white ice, a storm against a storm, and through the chaos, Kuzan appeared. His form slid through the snowfall, silent, inevitable. His hand touched Katakuri's chest. Ice time! Frost surged. Katakuri's chest froze instantly, the ice spreading outwards like veins of death, creeping across his torso, threatening to seize his heart. But Katakuri's body pulsed. Heat erupted from within, his mochi swelling, steaming, forcing the frost to crack. His armor and haki flared so bright it seemed molten, and with a guttural roar, he shattered the freezing grip, his fist slamming down towards Kuzan's skull. The Admiral blocked with a wall of ice, but the impact crushed it, sending cracks splintering across the battlefield. Kuzan slid back, breath visible, eyes sharper than before. Impressive. Katakuri's voice was ragged but unyielding. This is for my family! The fight escalated beyond comprehension. Kuzan unleashed titanic constructs, giant beasts of ice that rose from the frozen sea, wolves with jagged fangs, serpents with scales like glaciers. Each charged at Katakuri, their size removing the horizon from sight. Katakuri met them head on. His mochi expanded, massive limbs sprouting to clash with the constructs. His fists, heated and hardened, pummeling through ice jaws, shattering colossal wings, reducing glaciers to rubble. Every strike shook the world. Kuzan was there within the chaos, striking with precision. Blades of ice that carved the air, lances that pierced with unerring speed. Katakuri countered with Mogura, the trident spinning, smashing, deflecting each strike in a storm of sparks and frost. The landscape was torn apart, steam clashed with snow, mochi boiled where ice touched it, water hissing into clouds that obscured the battlefield. Lightning-like cracks of haki split the air, thunder echoing across Pirate Island. The clash was no longer merely a duel, it was a natural disaster. Minutes passed like hours, both men were breathing heavier now, the toll of their power gnawing at them. Katakuri's shoulders heaved, steam pouring from his skin. His mochi body was slower to reform now when struck, the heat within him burning away his stamina. His fists trembling slightly before each swing, though each strike still carried the force of a titan. Kuzan, though calmer, showed cracks of his own. His breath fogged in labored bursts, and the edges of his frozen constructs melted under Katakuri's relentless assault. His jacket hung in tatters, streaks of hardened mochi clinging to his arms and chests like scars. They clashed once more in the center of the wasteland, Mogura against an ice blade. The impact sent a shockwave that split the frozen sea apart, opening a chasm that swallowed waves whole. Both staggered back. Katakuri's eyes were blazing, but his chest heaved, his limbs heavy. The heat within him was a double-edged sword, fueling his strength but consuming his body. Kuzan straightened himself, his expression unreadable, but his shoulders tense. You've come a long way. If Linlin could see you now, she would be proud. Oh, I guess maybe she can see you from where she went after all. His words came out in his usual slow and calm voice, but the message carried a deep attack, a taunt talking about the assumed death of Big Mom. Katakuri spat a breath of steam, gripping Mogura tight. She doesn't need to see, no matter what her situation really is. I'll protect this family myself and start a new era for this pirate crew. They stared at each other across the ruined battlefield, both swaying slightly, both refusing to yield. The world around them was silent now. No wind, no sea, no life. Only the scorched and frozen wasteland that bore witness to their clash. Neither was beaten, neither was victorious. But both were already exhausted, their wills the only thing keeping them upright. Katakuri more so, the weight of his burning body dragging at his limbs, his breath ragged, his form flickering between hardened mochi and trembling flesh. Kuzan's calm mask remained, but his eyes betrayed the strain, a razor's edge of focus keeping him steady. The battle was not decided. Not yet. And this is the end of today's episode of Shadow Piece. I hope you enjoyed it and the developments of Katakuri. Yes, I can confirm it to you as the viewer. Big Mom is dead, we all know it. I also think in canon, she should be dead. If she comes back, I'm actually dissatisfied with everything. I was thinking maybe she would come back for Elbaf, but now I really don't think she will come back to Elbaf. But anyways, for Shadow Piece, Katakuri might be the new leader, or what the Big Mom, maybe with him the Big Dad family, is going to do in the future. Well, we have to see. There's a big question mark for that. But what that will be, well, that might happen in some sort of epilogue or future story, but not in Shadow Piece. We are right now witnessing the start of a new legend, the legend of Katakuri, how he battled against Kuzan. But how it actually will turn out, you will have to tune in the next week. So until then, all that's to be said is stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay cultured. Pyro, out. Bye!